Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today on Latakian's Nor Kitchen we're gonna make okra and beef stew or bamia stew. That's right, I'm gonna show you how to make my favorite Syrian stew. And while I'm boasting this now because it's time of the okra and you can see it everywhere in vegetable markets, but this will be amazing any time of the year, especially if you're a fan of okra and tomatoes. And the secret here is we're gonna cook this low and very slow, but I promise it will be worth the wait. And to get started, the first thing we'll need is 300 grams of beef meat or lamb, any kind of meat you prefer. And here's how you do it. First up, we're gonna cut up some beef chuck. Do not buy stew meat. Alright, cut it yourself. Get that hunk of beef chuck you can find and just cut it up in small pieces or big. And you see all that connective tissues? That's why this is so delicious. It's also why it takes 1 hour to simmer, but totally worth it. And of course, the other reason you want to cut your own is because when you buy pre-cut from the market, those are the pieces they literally can't sell any other way, and you're paying extra for the privilege. So just cut your own. They're really easy. And once you've cut it up, we're gonna go ahead and on a high heat stove, we have a pot where I put a small amount of vegetable oil. So we need to toss in our meat, and what we need to do next is seasoning that with a pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper as well. Give that a toss, and then once that's seasoned, we're gonna sear that and brown that for a few minutes or until we start getting some nice browning on the surface. At that point, we can go ahead and turn those over, and then we're gonna notice a good amount of moisture in the bottom of the pan, and those beef tips are gonna start to simmer in their own juices. Cover that, and in that time we can go ahead and prep our okra. Here we have 500 grams of small okra. This is what we use in the Middle East. I don't prefer the big size. The small or medium size is way better than the big one, which means less seeds to worry about. So to prep okra, I just cut off the top of it. This recipe does actually work well with frozen or fresh, but when I get fresh, I like to use it. And often when it comes frozen, we don't have to do any prep on it. But if you buy it fresh, which I recommended, look for the small size, because if they are big, the okra tends to be a little tough. And what we will do after prepping our okra is go ahead and wash them very well. Then what we do after they've been washed up is drying them with a paper towel. We don't want them to be wet because we're gonna fry them, so just keep them dry as you can. Now let's go back to our beef meat. We're gonna give that an occasional stir and toss. Then once the water is evaporated, we're gonna lower the heat to medium. So first we made them wet, then we made it dry, and after nearly half an hour, we're gonna make it wet again by transferring in half a cup of water and cover it and let it simmer gently for about another half an hour. At that point, we need to fry our okra. So let's deep fry them in a very hot vegetable oil until they are golden brown. Meanwhile, I'm gonna show you how to make our tomato sauce using fresh tomato. And while you often hear me saying in these videos that what you're making is way better than what you can buy at the store, but this is not just a matter of being better than what you can get at the store, and it's more about that you literally can't get this at the store. Okay, there's no sauce in a jar or a can that will come even close to what you're gonna experience with this. And what we'll do first here is pull off that green part from the top, which is called sebel. So what we do with these 4 tomatoes is peeling them, then cut them in halves and then in quarters, then toss that in a food processor and mince them very well. Pulse it many times until you get them soft and nice. Now let's go ahead and assemble our recipe. So in a big pot set over medium heat, I added a little bit of vegetable oil, and then what we do next is tossing in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of ground dry coriander as well, plus 2 cloves of garlic. Give that a stir, tossing that to the bottom for about 2 minutes. That really is gonna add a lot of flavor, where this step is called umami, which is that intense savoriness you get from the food that has tomato paste. And once we have improved the taste of our tomato paste, we go ahead and toss in our tomato sauce on it. And then to this, we'll also want to add a nice big pinch of salt, as well as an optional pinch of black pepper, which I'm gonna add because I enjoy a little bit of heat, But if you don't. I mean, you are always have been and always will be the boss of your sauce. And then what we do here is raise the heat to medium high, and then we will both stir, mix and toss those until the mixture starts simmering. At that point, we can go ahead and take away our fried okra, put that on a plate with a paper towel on it in order to take the excess oil where we are ready to assemble. So our sauce is done now. We'll start adding in our meat, take that deliciousness over there. I don't want to waste any of these. Then we'll add in our fried okra. And be careful, don't splash your camera. Now we need to give it an occasional stir, and when our okra stew starts bubbling, reduce the heat to low and cook that for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, our bashan will look something like this. And of course, we're gonna give this a taste in case we have to add a little more salt or a little more black pepper, but mine was exactly how I want it. And that's it. What we call okra stew is ready to boil and to serve up, which I decided to do next to steamed rice. And of course, we'll also want to spoon around some of our okra, as well as spooning over a generous amount of that amazing sauce. And I finished up with some paper slices, and that's it. Our okra stew is ready to enjoy. That, my friends, really was incredible, okay? As you might suspect from the ingredients we used, this is spicy, salty, and very, very savory. And you're gonna love this. I'm always hungry filming these videos. Well, actually, I'm always hungry all the time, but I could not wait to dig into this. And I'm way beyond thrilled with how this came out. That gorgeous tender beef, just such a perfect pairing with that gorgeous okra. And above and beyond looking cool, that little touch of green pepper really amplifies the flavors. This is one of those recipes, as I'm eating, I actually miss the winter. So if you're in the mood for something warm and comforting, I really do hope you give this okra and beef stew a try soon. Thanks for watching, and if you liked my video, please make sure to subscribe, like, follow and share so it can help me get more people to reach Latakians North Kitchen. See you later!